Welcome to Ease Podcast, where minds ignite, exploring learning day and night. Educators thrive, young minds grow in science, tech, and art skills flow. Classroom pride to make us survive. Ease of funny minds, so future strive. Welcome to Ease Podcast.
This podcast is produced by EASE, the European network of STEAM educators, uniting STEAM educators from Europe and all over the world. This product may contain traces of artificial intelligence inside. Join us and find a handful of educational resources at easeeducators.com.
All right, ready to jump into EASE, the European network of STEAM educators,
Yeah, got their action plan 2025 and info on the executive board. Definitely some serious commitment to STEAM education vibes here.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. What's striking me right away is the sheer ambition, right? 2025. This action plan's not messing around. It's like a blueprint for like a whole STEAM ecosystem across Europe.
You hit the nail on the head, and
Yeah.
it's the scale that gets you. We're talking 9 MOOCs they've got planned, 48 articles, 42 lesson plans. It's a content machine.
Okay, you've got my attention. Can you give us some specifics? What really jumped out at you?
It's the variety that's really interesting, I think. So we've got an online STEAM Education European Summit. That's got to be huge, right? Reaching a lot of people.
Yeah, big impact for sure.
Exactly. And then on the other side, they've got this in-person spring conference. So you're talking about building those personal connections, the community aspect.
Makes sense. I'm also super curious about EASE AI Lab development. What's your take on that? Is it like some super advanced platform for like personalized learning or something?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I mean, having an AI lab definitely tells us they're thinking about using tech in some really innovative ways. Imagine AI tailoring education to each kid,
Yeah.
figuring out what they need and how they learn best. Pretty cool to think about.
No kidding. And they've got that Maker Spaces for Education in Europe map.
Yeah.
I bet that's a huge resource for educators, finding those hands-on learning spaces where kids can actually build things, experiment, and all that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that map's not just saying hands-on learning is important. It's making those spaces easy to find, across Europe. It's all about making connections and like building a culture of, innovation and STEAM.
Totally. But none of this happens without the right people, right? So let's talk executive board. This is the team that's going to turn this plan reality.
And it's a really diverse group. That's what struck me. You've got folks from, Albania, Belgium, Cyprus. Then there's France, Germany, Greece, Italy, Luxembourg. Wow, even North Macedonia, Portugal, and Romania.
It's like the STEAM Avengers representing all corners of Europe.
Mm.
But I don't want to just list names and titles, Let's dive a bit deeper. Who are some of these individuals and what are they bringing to the table?
I'm with you. So, for instance, there's Anne Leroux from Portugal. She's going to be delivering a synchronous learning activity in 2025.
Ooh, synchronous learning. That's interesting. What do you think that looks like in this context?
Yeah, exactly. It makes you think, well, synchronous learning is all about real-time interaction, right? So maybe it's about bridging those geographical gaps, connecting students across different countries.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. EASE using tech to make learning more inclusive. That's a great example.
Right. And then we have Altin Guberi from Albania. He's part of the EASE AI lag development. And when you look at, his involvement and others like Marna Vodenovic from North Macedonia and Mirko Labri from Italy, it really shows how important AI is becoming in education, right? We're not just talking coding and robots anymore.
It's like AI can actually help personalize learning, provide more support to students, maybe even like automate some of those tedious tasks teachers have to deal with.
Exactly. Freeing up educators to focus on, actually inspiring kids and teaching.
And speaking of inspiring, I'm really drawn to Nelson Gomes from Portugal.
Yeah.
Not only is he an EASE certified e-trainer, but he's also nominating organizations for that Makerspaces map. That kind of hands-on passion is really what makes EASE stand out.
Totally. These aren't just board members with fancy titles, right? They're rolling up their sleeves and getting involved.
Exactly. Like we've got Avgustinos Sauizis from Cyprus, who's not only a certified e-trainer, but also contributing lesson plans and writing articles on STEAM. And then there's Lydia Ristea from Romania. She's doing everything, writing articles, working on those synchronous learning activities, even creating videos.
It's amazing to see that level of commitment and from so many different people.
It really shows you the collaborative heart of EASE. right? This isn't just a top-down organization. It's a community.
Yeah.
A bunch of passionate educators working together.
Exactly. And that shared goal to empower educators and, inspire the next generation of innovators.
Couldn't have said it better myself. But let's not forget the importance of individuals like Maria Cristina Ciocci from Belgium and Simone Frecchia from France. They're the ones securing funding, organizing events like the Spring Conference. Vital roles in any organization, especially one as ambitious as EASE.
Absolutely. They're making sure EASE actually has what it needs, the resources to, actually achieve their goals. Sometimes it's that behind-the-scenes work that makes all the difference.
So true. Then there's Eero Koliakou from Greece, diving deep into the AI world, contributing to the EASE AI Lab, even writing an ebook on STEAM. Talk about passion for technology and education, right?
It's fascinating to see how that AI lab is bringing people together from all these different backgrounds and their goal, making education better for students all over Europe.
And we can't leave out Juan Nolasco from Portugal. He's also involved with the EASE AI Lab. Plus, he's managing their social networks. A reminder of how important communication is these days, especially for an organization that's all about connecting educators.
For sure. And then there's Nicole Foster from Germany taking the lead on video production. Video is such a powerful tool for sharing knowledge, and getting people inspired. Her work's going to be huge in bringing EASE's message to life, showing everyone what's happening in STEAM across Europe.
It's really impressive when you think about it. Every board member brings something unique to the table. And together, well, they make EASE a real force in STEAM education.
It really is a powerhouse team, and we can't forget about Madhumalti Sharma from Luxembourg, right? She's a big part of managing those social networks for EASE.
Keeping that online presence strong is so key these days, right? Especially for an organization that's all about connecting educators. Oh, and speaking of connections, Selma Pereira from Portugal really impressed me. She's involved in so many things. Developing e-learning materials, writing an ebook on STEAM, even helping organize that spring conference.
Yeah, she's definitely wearing a few hats, and it seems like she really understands what the STEAM education community needs.
Multi-talented.
For sure.
But maybe we should take a step back for a second. For our listener, why does all this matter? What's the takeaway here?
That's a good point. Whether you're a teacher, a parent, or just someone interested in the future of education, EASE is an organization worth knowing about. They're leading the way in STEAM in Europe, and their work. It could change how we teach and learn everywhere, not just Europe.
It's about creating an education that's engaging, inclusive, an education that actually prepares kids for the future.
Totally. And they're giving educators the tools they need to make that happen.
So if you're an educator and you're looking for ideas, for support, or just some inspiration, check out EASE. Their website, their social media, all the resources they're creating, it's a goldmine.
Yeah. And it reminds us that education doesn't have to be a solo journey. It's about working together, sharing what we know, supporting each other.
Building that community. Okay, but before we wrap up our deep dive into EASE completely, let's zoom back in on the Action Plan 2025. What are some of the initiatives that really stand out to you? What are they doing to make all this happen?
Well, got to go back to that EASE AI lab, right? The potential of AI in education is massive. And EASE is clearly committed to figuring out how to use it, personalizing learning, providing that extra support to students, maybe even taking care of some of the behind-the-scenes stuff so teachers can focus on teaching.
I totally agree. It's forward-thinking, and it could change everything. But it's not all high-tech, right? They're also putting a lot of emphasis on hands-on learning with the Makerspaces for Education in Europe map. I love that.
Me too. That map will be so useful for educators who want to find those spaces where kids can really get creative and learn by doing.
Exactly. And let's not forget all those MOOCs, articles, lesson plans. They're creating a ton of resources for educators all over Europe.
Giving them practical tools and knowledge, right? Helping them bring STEAM into their classrooms in a way that actually works.
So it's not just about the what of STEAM, it's about the how, right?
Yeah.
EASE is thinking about the content, the teaching methods, and the learning environment. They're approaching this from every angle.
Exactly. And that's why they're such a valuable resource for anyone involved in STEAM education. But before we move on, I think it's important to take a moment to just appreciate the people behind EASE.
Oh, absolutely.
The board members, the staff, everyone. They're giving their time, their energy, their expertise. It's inspiring to see, It's all driven by this shared passion to make education better.
It really is. And what strikes me is how diverse this group is. People from all over Europe coming together to advance STEAM education.
It's a perfect example of what can happen when people collaborate, and believe in a common goal.
Right. Couldn't agree more. As we're wrapping up our look at ease, I keep thinking about that word movement. It's not just an organization, right? It feels like a real push for something bigger, a more hands-on and creative approach to education.
Yeah, you really get that sense from everything they do. Take that makerspace map, for example. It's not just about, like, finding a location. It's about encouraging that whole maker mindset, right? Where kids are tinkering, experimenting, learning by building things.
So they're saying, hey, forget the textbooks, let's get our hands dirty and make something.
Exactly. And it fits into this bigger trend we're seeing, right? More personalized learning, more experiences, not just lectures. Ease is right at the forefront of that, not just in Europe, but, globally. Yeah. Educators all over the world are paying attention to what they're doing.
So for our listener, for someone who's hearing all this and thinking, okay, this is cool, but what does it mean for me? Prissy, what are some concrete takeaways?
Well, first off, Ease is a goldmine of resources. Their website, articles, lesson plans, even training programs. It's a treasure trove for educators. No matter where you are in your career, there's something there for you.
And it's more than just resources, right? There's that community aspect too. A place for educators to connect, share ideas, collaborate on projects.
Absolutely. That's so important, especially for teachers who might be feeling isolated or maybe a little overwhelmed.
It's about that support system.
Exactly. Ease helps you feel like you're part of something bigger,
Right.
That you're not alone in this.
So yeah, if you're an educator and you're looking for fresh ideas or you need some support or even just a little inspiration, check out Ease.
And if you're a parent, talk to your kid's school about STEAM.
Yeah.
Ask about makerspaces, project-based learning, Make sure they're getting those opportunities to explore their passions in science, tech, engineering, arts, math, all of it.
Because STEAM isn't just about, specific jobs, right? It's about those essential 21st century skills. Creativity, problem solving, critical thinking. You need those to succeed in any field. And Ease is doing amazing work to make sure the next generation is ready for whatever comes their way.
Couldn't have put it better myself. And as we wrap things up, I want to leave our listener with one last thought. What can you do in your own community to support STEAM education? It doesn't have to be huge. Maybe share an interesting article with a teacher, volunteer at a makerspace, or just, encourage a kid to follow their curiosity. Everything counts.
Great point. STEAM education is a team effort. We all have a role to play in creating a brighter future. So let's take that Ease spirit with us, collaborate, innovate, and inspire the world around us. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Ease, the European network of STEAM educators.
Welcome to Ease Podcast, where minds ignite, exploring learning day and night. Educators thrive, young minds grow, in science, tech, and art skills flow. Natural pride to make us survive. Ease opening minds, the future strive. Welcome to Ease Podcast.
This podcast is produced by EASE, the European network of STEAM educators, uniting STEAM educators from Europe and all over the world. This product may contain traces of artificial intelligence inside. Join us and find a handful of educational resources at easeeducators.com.